Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Paul's Monday Market Update number 225 for Monday, 1st of June 2026. We're back after a few weeks away. I was up in the Highlands of Scotland, driving around there, and of course, then we had the Whitsun holiday here. I hope you are all well. I hope you've enjoyed a good couple of weeks. I hope you're ready for the start of a new month and what undoubtedly will be another interesting week and an interesting month and an interesting quarter in an interesting year. Um, if you're joining us for the first time, the Monday Market Update is just that. It is me flying through as much as I can share with you over the next 25 to 30 minutes, looking at strength and weakness within FX indices and commodities markets, taking a look at a few charts of interest that you might want to add to your watch list, and then having a look at live markets. It is not a signal service, it's not trade recommendations, it is just me sharing with you what I'm looking at the moment, which might be of relevance or of interest to yourselves. As always, you are very welcome here, but just remember that you are always responsible for your own trading decisions. And if you want a little bit more deeper help and support in your own trading, you can join the VTP Trader Accountability Group, which is all about building discipline, accountability, and consistency in your trading business. You can use that QR code there, okay, or as the bit.ly code there, or just ping me if you've got any questions about joining us for that. Okay, so here we are. We've got this is the indices. This is my kind of indice profile. So what have I got here? I've got Dow on the weekly. I've got NASDAQ on the weekly, S&P 500 on the weekly, Russell, FTSE, Nikkei, DAX on the weekly, and also West Texas oil on the weekly. All right. So listen, West Texas oil, you can see in the weekly chart, had been falling away, but we've had a little bit of a bump at the start of this week, okay, because of the, as I said, those issues with Iran. All right. But, we'll see how that plays out. What I'm interested in is, once again, all right, when we spoke a few weeks ago, I spoke about the Dow just basically, is building up underneath that big round 50,000 number. But look what the last couple of weeks have given us. We are basically broken and closed to all-time highs, as we have done with NASDAQ, as we have done with the S&P 500, as we have done with the Russell. That has been quite some move. And also with the Nikkei as well. The Nikkei, those five have just been on an absolute tear, just powering ahead there, okay? And once again, if you've been riding that, okay, once again, the kind of reclaims of the 50 weekly 50 period moving average as the bounces off. Well done, all right, well done, good for you, good for you. Close to home in Europe, it's not been as exciting if you look at DAX. Yeah, we started the year with that double top there, okay, and we fell our way down, and then we reclaimed, and we've kind of mostly held up above that weekly 50, putting in a bit of an engulfing candle there. But I wouldn't exactly say that that is, filling me with excitement and joy. Certainly not when you're looking at those other five indices that we've just looked at, okay. Yeah, it's bullish, but I wouldn't exactly say it's wanting to tempt me off the sidelines. And even closer to home with the FTSE 100, from what last year was a great run, I now look at us as, we're just coiling up here. Okay, that's the way I look at it. All right, that's a triangle formation in my book. Now, many people would say, well, Paul, a triangle is a continuation pattern. So, we've come into this on the bullish side. We should basically continue out on the bullish side. All right, so. And yeah, you'd be absolutely right. But personally, I think this is coiling up in front of that by-election. That's my own view. You might differ. You may have a different choice or thought about that, and that's absolutely fine. But I think this is the coiling up in front of that, okay, because it could bring such huge difference in policy, okay, if Burnham wins and then he's successful in replacing Starmer. He at the moment he is viewed to be even further left, okay, of Starmer, and also you'd need to see who's going to be who'd be his chancellor. If it's going to be Angela Rayner, then Lord help us all. All right. Anyway, that's what I see. All right. FTSE is just coiling up. All right. Make of that what you will. And I just think it will continue to coil until we get the by-election release. All right. Now, admittedly, we've got We have got Mr. Bailey speaking a couple of times this week. Maybe he'll say something that inspires us. But I'm still waiting for Bailey to say anything remotely inspiring. But that's me. But yeah, just watch that. I don't see that blowing out that until that by-election release comes our way. Looking at just a couple of the other commodities, gold. Yeah, as I said, gold is in a stand 2S, all right, tactical short, and it is just kind of been drifting down the last few weeks. On the daily chart, the daily 50 has acted as really nice, okay, dynamic resistance. And you've got the 200 here, okay, acting as support. So my own view is bang, look at that. That's coiling up. Then gold is coiling up on the daily chart, okay? So I would just wait to see, what could be the catalyst. Could that be those US job numbers? Or something else this week that is a catalyst for that move, and some of that will be, of course, associated with the moves in the dollar. Silver, as I said, silver's kind of flattered to deceive a little bit the last few weeks. All right, the weekly chart is pretty much just sort of moribund. The daily chart, as you can see, we're back in between that $70 and $80 range, which we had blown out, but we came right back in, and we're just kind of pivoting around the daily 50, 75. I see they're just working our way through there. Okay, nothing terribly exciting at all, is it? Just kind of working its way sideways. Nothing to get really excited about. Bitcoin, we had that lovely weekly triangle, all right, which should have been a continuation lower, but actually we blew out of it. But as you can see for yourself, we did work out higher, but we just couldn't get above 80,000. And the last few weeks, we've just drifted lower and lower again. And once again, on that daily chart, the daily 200 acted as really nice daily resistance there. We got beneath the daily 50 and we're just drifting lower, and that's just, there's just nothing terribly exciting there. If you're trying to just be a bullish Bitcoin trader, not much there really going on to excite you with that. All right. But the thing is with Bitcoin and gold and silver, of course, a lot of that is to do with, well, what do people think is going to happen with the dollar? All right, are we going to get a little bit more return to normal with the dollar, or is it still just going to basically play itself out as that risk on or risk off character again? In which case, the geopolitical elements of the US Iran elements causes the issues. So